What's going on? What's going on? Part of my presence YouTube channel. Did you see the news? Do you follow sports? I saw a clip on ESPN where Spike Lee was pretty much felt insulted with the fact that him being a long tenured fan not being able to enter Madison Square Garden to get to a seat through the employee entrance. And Spike Lee feels that because he is a long tenured fan who has paid millions of dollars over the course of his tenure being a long-term fan, he feels that he should have access to the employee ramp or entrance to get to his seat. Now, I'll be honest with you. As someone who has a high profile like Spike Lee, and him being on courtside, and him being pretty much equivalent almost to the Raptors' #1 fan, I forget his name, but he owns a car dealership here in Brampton. Being equivalent to that guy, where Spike Lee pretty much is almost like the second mascot at Madison Square Gardens. I remember him back when Patrick Ewing was shooting from the foul line, so that's how far he goes back. But I heard Spike Lee say, and this is what I want to get to. I heard Spike Lee say that this team belongs to us. This team belongs to the fans. I need to get something clear with everyone that's listening, and everyone who feels this way, who support sports teams and sporting organizations and feels that they don't listen to their fans, their diehard fans, their loyal fans, the fans who bought jerseys, even though the name on the back of the jersey, they're no longer with the team because they've been traded. The diehard sports fans that buy tickets pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for tickets, only to see a subpar team year in, year out. I want this to be very clear to you guys. They don't care about you guys. By design, corporations do not care about people. They only care about the bottom line. They only care about green. They only care about profits. They don't care about appeasing the fans, giving the fans what they want, unless the fans stop coming and it affects their bottom line. And this leads to my point here. When it comes to certain groups of people, there seems to be this one-way street of loyalty. I rock with you. I'm a diehard fan. I support you. Where's the reciprocation? Where's the loyalty in return? Why can't you allow me to receive certain benefits for spending all this money and investing in you? Because Spike, you are equivalent to a custody, meaning you're a fiend. You go back and you buy a product, it doesn't matter how good it is, you keep going back continually. I'm sure prices from the 80s to now have risen, even though the team hasn't been great since Patrick Ewing was on a team. Since it was Ewing, Larry Johnson, Anthony Mason, Greg Anthony, since back then. Charlie Ward, that's like early 90s, that's a Jordan era. The Knicks haven't got anywhere since. And I wondered to myself, why would an owner, someone who apparently is, needs to be receptive to the fans and needs to have a winning organization to make money, It makes you wonder, why have there been a lot of disgruntled fans, disgruntled alumni like Charles Oakley and whatnot? Why is there seem to be some type of disrespect going on within the organization? They seem to be mismanaging things. And I thought to myself, dang, I wonder, the Knicks must not be making money with this mismanagement. It just seems like a fumbling of what you would call, quote unquote, public relations. So I did some research and I looked up the top grossing teams or the top profitable teams in the NBA. And lo and behold, do you know who the top team, the most profitable team in the NBA is? The New York Knicks. They haven't made the playoffs since the 90s. The New York Knicks are the top grossing team in the NBA. More than the Lakers, more than the Raptors, more than Milwaukee Bucks, more than the Brooklyn Nets, more than Golden State, all right, more than the Spurs. They're number one. I think it's $4 billion is what they gross. Why would they change anything? Why would they extend their hand to disgruntled fans? Their business model is working. These corporations are about money. And as long as their bottom line is increasing, as long as they continue to make hand over fist and there's no downturn on the profits, they will never change their ways. Why? Because it's working. They do not care about how people feel. They do not care to disrespect. Corporations have no feelings. And the sooner Spike Lee and people like him realize that, they'll understand their true power is not in them booing from the stands that they paid hundreds of dollars for. It's from neglecting to buy tickets, refusing to show up at events, having empty seats in the Garden. You respond to disrespect with refusing to spend your hard-earned dollar. Not to go on ESPN in front of millions, in front of Stephen A. Smith, in front of the other guy, I forget his name, and to say, they never told me about this new policy. And if you notice, there's a moment in that interview where he stops short. He wants to say, I'm done. You can see it in his mouth, the way how he's forming his lips to say, I'm done. But he couldn't do it. Why? Because he's a custody. He's a fiend. He's going to continue to go back to the point where he kind of compromised and said, I'm done for the season. And then Stephen A. Smith asked him, because he understood what was going on. He understood the hypocrisy here. And he asked him, will you come back for next season? And speculate, yeah, I'll come back. So then why would they change their business model? Why would they extend an olive branch and say, hey, we done you wrong? When they're making money from you, you haven't stopped the flow of cash. Back in the 60s, during the civil rights movement, the Montgomery, Alabama bus protest. The reason why all those things worked is because they stopped using the buses. They stopped paying. They decided either to walk or to use the black-owned bus lines. The power of your dollar is very important. Now I'll tell you this right now. I exercise it all the time. I remember one time I was in a grocery store. It's an Asian grocery store. And the way the cashier spoke to me, because I wanted to buy an item that was less than $5, And apparently if it's less than a certain amount, they don't accept debit. We're in a world where people don't hold on to cash anymore. So I didn't have the cash. And she gave me a look like, are you crazy? You can't buy this because you don't have cash. No debit for anything under $5. You gotta get something else. And I looked at her, I said, there's no sign here that says minimum $10 to use debit. Why would I wait in line for so long, standing in this line, if I knew there was a minimum? I would have left. And the way she spoke to me, now whether it's because there's a language barrier, that don't matter. That don't matter because common courtesy is just that, common, and it's universal. Body language, universal. She tried to make me feel small. So what I did, I didn't suck it up and pay or get something else to add on to all that I just wanted, which was just one item that was under $5. You want me to go and get another item, so I'm paying now $8, $4 more for something I don't want? You're not gonna force me to spend money I don't want to spend. I left my item on the table and I walked out. My pride, my hard-earned money is more important to me than to give it away to someone who doesn't value me as a person, as a customer, as a human being. And I vowed, and I told them before I left, I will never set foot in here again or shop in this store again. And I walked out. Now, looking all around me, there's other customers who are going about their business, buying their stuff. Customers with the same complexion as me. I may not have inspired anyone to do the exact same thing I did. I may even be losing out the fact that this is the cheapest place to buy ethnic food. It didn't matter. My spirit, my being, my pride, my dollars told me that I am better than this. I will not get followed in the store and spend thousands of dollars to show you that I'm worth it. I will not spend hundreds in the store only for you to treat me like a criminal and want me to empty out my bag because you think I'm shoplifting. I will not spend my dollars at an establishment where you feel you could pull a gun out on me and shoot me because you think I'm shoplifting, or that you could hit me, attack me physically because you don't respect me as a human being. You will not get my dollar. And I'll tell you this right now, there's no loyalty to a corporation. There's no loyalty to a city. There's no loyalty to a block. There's no loyalty to a company. You work at an establishment for 20 years, they would rather fire you or set you up and fire you than to pay you severance. Please value your time, value your peace of mind, value your dollar, and spend it where people appreciate you and treat you with the dignity and the respect that your dollar and your time deserves. Don't be like Spike Lee and get upset but still continue to go back because you can't shake that feeling like a Custy, like Pookie from New Jack City. Don't be that person. Learn to walk away. And that goes with anything. If someone doesn't value your time, doesn't appreciate you, doesn't respect your dollar, you could walk away. Don't ever suffer in silence or complain. Because there's nothing worse than someone who has the power to do something about it and they complain. And I'm very surprised that someone like Spike Lee would take that stance, considering his history. With all the movies that he directed that actually focus on discrimination and harassment and people not valuing you as a person. You remember Do the Right Thing? The guy with the boombox who got choked out? The guy who was being disrespected over D batteries? D motherfucker D batteries? How was it that Spike Lee can make that movie and doesn't realize that he has the power to walk away and go somewhere else? He already said the Brooklyn Nets stadium, the Barclays, is like 20 minutes or 4 minutes away from his office. Use the power of your voice, your celebrity, and buy a Brooklyn Nets uniform, and you go courtside and you show the New York Knicks owner that if you disrespect me, I will spend my money elsewhere. And if they understand that that affects their bottom line, that is when they're going to reverse and revisit their business model. And just in closing, there's another sports team that makes hand over fist, and yet they do nothing to create a winning team and winning environment. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team, NHL. The reason why they don't? Because they don't have to. You're gonna come anyways. You rather not go to the reigning champion Raptors stadium. You rather not go there and go to a hockey game to watch a losing team, a perennial losing team, year after year after year. Keep feeding you BS saying, yeah, this year is different, we got new additions. Different players, same shit. Until they want to spend the proper money to get big name players, to change the philosophy, and until fans decide not to go to games, not to pay thousands of dollars for tickets, not to wait in line for tickets to the point where there's a waiting list to get season tickets, they will never change. Their model is working. Please understand that. I hope this sinks in. I hope you can see through this BS. Don't be a Spike Lee. Use the power of your dollar. It's yours. It belongs to you. You are in control of it. Spend it where you are appreciated. That's my word for today. Part of my presence. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.